Good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing? Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Red 5 Tavern. I'm here with Charles from Conversations, playing Nerho, the halfling rogue.
Hello.
What's that?
Not quite sure.
Better luck next time. I've got Kayleesha, Moonflower, the moon elf, played by Kelly. Welcome.
Hi, friends.
And we've got Irshc, the reborn ranger, played by DB. Welcome.
Hello. Hello, hello. I don't smell that bad.
Yes, you do.
Well,
I don't smell anymore.
yeah, you have no senses. You have no smells.
I have no senses.
Yeah, that's our joy.
She's got no sense.
All right. Sadly, Tina could not be with us tonight because she has no internet, nor does anybody in her neighborhood. It's a gigantic disaster. So, Tina, thoughts and prayers. We love you. Wish you could be here, but alas, the show must go on. So, last episode, you all basically came back from the ordeal of resurrecting Kayleesha, resurrecting back to ghosthood, and you basically had like 3 weeks of downtime to try to figure out what to do. You ended up spending a lot of that time at a special research library called the Luminous Vault, in which all the books are invisible until held underneath this kind of magical light.
I want to go there for real. I really do.
I know, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
You spent like 3 weeks there, basically just researching and figuring out some more information. You discovered a lot of info about the astral plane and the astral dreadnought, otherwise known as the Leviathan that you are after. And now, as you kind of return to the Red 5 Tavern, you have all the research that you gathered during this time, and you're kind of left to put the pieces together. So we'll say it's the evening, kind of the end of the third week, coming back to the Red 5 Tavern. You've kind of commandeered the common area of the tavern, and kind of like spreading all your research notes on the table. You've got Stray there. You've got Dagonra, and you're all just kind of like sitting around, reflecting on everything that you've learned in the past few weeks. As you're kind of getting ready to put a plan together, what are like your character's thoughts on kind of recent events? Like what's just happened, what's happening now, and what they hope to have happen in the future? Charles, let's start with you. What's Nerho kind of reflecting on, and what does he kind of hope for in the future?
Well, first of all, he hopes that he lives. Let's be honest. And and although he despises the idea that he feels indebted to anybody else but himself, he does feel a sense of attachment to the pardoned and to everyone here, not just gaming tonight, but like the entire group. And so he's quite conflicted by that, because naturally he would actually leave and just back out of this endeavor. But with what the group has shown to him and the way that they've all come together, he feels that it's almost like family. So he feels that he's in for the long haul for this one. And it's very similar to what his background is about his family and his struggles that he's had with the way his family has fallen, and he needs to restore their honor. He feels the same thing with this family. So he's never going to show that, of course, but gruffingly he'll be part of it. But he definitely feels a sense of family with all these players.
Aww.
I mean, so nice. He hates you all, and he's peacing out. See ya.
It's a dreadnought.
Sorry, that was all fake.
Whatever, Mom. On that same note, Kayleesha, how are you taking everything in? What are kind of your thoughts on what's happened, what's happening, and what you think will happen?
Well, I don't really have too many feelings. Like, I have some feelings, I guess, but they're not nearly as vibrant as they were when I was alive. I do feel the urgent need to end Gonjor's reign and his control over the earth. And I kind of liked the afterlife. And if it wasn't for needing to wrap up some loose ends, I probably would have stayed and hung out with Kark.
Okay. And Irshc, what's going through that reborn mind of yours?
Losing my first friend since being turned undead, and then their half-baked plan to bring her back, bringing her back in spectral form.
Who's coming with me?
But honestly, it's because of Gonjor that's all of this is happening. The loss of my friend, the transformation into a ghost, and being stuck to this plane until we can defeat the evil. Then she's released. That's my plan. I want her released from being stuck because her friends went and talked to an old crone. Kind of dropped the ball a little. Bit.
Understandable.
So, yes, I want to do whatever it takes to be able to. Let's get this the phylactery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did Irshc just say any of that out loud by any chance? Like, do we know what each other are thinking?
That was internal. I read that as internal for me.
Okay.
There was no way that Nerho would say that out loud.
Right.
I think outwardly that I'm showing determination, and let's pour over these notes before we miss something.
Yeah.
All right. Basically, as you just kind of gather and kind of wait for the meeting to start, Stray and Dagenra will kind of gather everybody around, and got like just piles of notes kind of spread all out over the table, and Stray basically just starts like walking through with everybody like what you know. So Stray will just be like, okay, here's what we know about everything that's happening so far with this last page of the phylactery. Last page we know is in the Astral Sea, being guarded by the Leviathan. That's what Calypso has revealed to us. We know the Astral Sea itself is a plane of thought and dreams, a expansive silvery space where beings move by thought. It serves as a gateway to other planes. The Leviathan that Calypso spoke of is otherwise known as a astral dreadnought. It's a terrifying creature whose gullet contains a demiplane within it. It is attracted to psychic energy, and while it is very dangerous, it can be reasoned with. I can cast plane shift to bring us to the astral plane, but I can only do that once per day. However, because of our connections with Snicket, we do now have an amulet of the planes on loan, which can bring us back, but there's a chance of sending us to the wrong plane, so we're going to have to keep trying till we get to the right one. So we have a way in, we have a way out. What we don't have is a reliable way to understand where we are in the Astral Sea or where to go. And the clock is ticking because Ganjor's power is growing day by day. So we need to figure out a plan, and we need to figure out a plan fast. So now that we can get there and we can get back, hopefully, we need to find a way to navigate within the plane, and we need some way of dealing with this Leviathan in order to grab the last page of the phylactery and get out of there.
So Nero says, well, this seems like a very tall task, and we all seem very thirsty. Let me take this moment and buy everyone around so we can sit here and focus together, and let's be together, and it's on me. So he turns around and goes to the to Crack, not Kark, but Crack, the barkeep. And on his way over, he scopes out some unassuming patron who looks rather inebriated and attempts to sleight of hand to steal his coin purse. So he actually doesn't have to spend his own money for this.
Yes.
13 plus 4, 17.
Yeah, with a inebriated patron, that's going to be plenty high enough. So, yeah, you're able to lift their coin purse and find. Okay. Oh, that's a pretty high roll. 14 gold pieces.
So that certainly should be enough to buy everyone around on our table.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
And I'm gonna
kind
night
of
with 14
push
gold.
over.
I'm gonna look at the guy that I just lifted the coin purse, and I'm just gonna look through the crowd. My good man, Crack, right? Yes. Well, I'm going to take care of this entire table on my money. They deserve it. And he looks around and sort of glances over at the guy he just pickpocketed. And that one there, whatever he wants, give him a round as well. He seems like he could use it. My man, it's for you. And he
Oh
buys.
yeah, he's gonna be drinking all night.
Thank you very much. He drops.
Sure you want to run up his tab?
No, it's certainly not. I said a round, not a round till the morning. No, one round. Thank you very much.
Okay. Whatever you want.
And so he walks back to the table.
You know, at first I was a little nervous that you said you were buying us all around. And she's a ghost, and I pay attention. Now I know you weren't really serious.
I'm going to
This one learns fast.
Got you, half man.
I'm going to swoosh over behind Nero, behind his ear, and just say, I saw what you did.
Yeah. Isn't it enough that you possess me? Just, please.
Hi, I'm working with you. I'm fully visible. I know my neck is and my nose is but
It was pretty sweet though. Did you see that lift? It was like so smooth. He had felt nothing. It was fantastic.
he totally didn't.
I high-fived to something or other.
Except your hand goes through my
Right.
hand. So.
Right. It looks kind of awkward, just one man standing there.
Anybody else looking on is just gonna see a weird half man just kind of like talking to himself.
And a ranger staring at him.
Wow.
It's like
Art imitates life.
Garfield without Garfield.
Well, I can't reveal myself to the whole tavern. They'd all go running and screaming. So
Smart.
True.
And before too long, Kark does come out with enough beer for everybody. It's nothing special, just kind of the common tavern swill.
Mm.
Ooh.
Remember
Right,
those
then-
rough lunches at the ye old titty bar? You know, I used to go there with Sprinkles. Wonder what's up with Sprinkles. Oh well.
She's probably on some pole somewhere.
Probably still hanging on to that wolf.
Yeah. Vader did love her though, so. Mhm.
Okay, so
So, yeah. We're going to
You
have
have
to
another
figure
week.
out a way. Now, here's what I'm thinking. We have a way in, we have a way out. We need to get that paper. And the only way to get that paper is to be invisible. And the only two things that can be invisible is a ghost and a halfling with an invisibility cloak.
Or ring. Invisibility ring.
Or
yes.
ring. Yes,
Right,
yes.
right, right.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
No Harry Potters here, huh? We're in a different
Well,
realm.
I do have hair. Well, I would like not to have it, but it's a whole different subject. But yes.
So there's that. But how are we going to distract the Leviathan? How are we going to find where he even is?
That's our
In the
first problem.
Astral Sea.
We have to get there. We, like the librarian said, the astral plane is vast.
Mhm.
It's a dream. We need to find where this Leviathan is.
So is Stray opening up portals? Can open up a portal to wherever we want to go as long as we know where we're going.
It's not exactly a portal. He kind of
Okay.
interjects.
Okay.
We just kind of join hands, and I could just beam us there. If I know a particular place on that plane, then I could bring us there, but it's the Astral Sea. I don't. We're just going to kind of show up there somewhere.
Gotcha.
Now, there are creatures there who do inhabit the plane or travel through it.
Mhm.
If we chance upon any of them, we could, I don't know, ask for directions.
Okay.
We need to find a Githyanki. I hope I said that right. Githyanki. A spirit, an astral sea guide.
Stray will
Where
be
can we
like-
find a guide?
Stray will be like, Githyanki can be maybe not the best choice. They do have a reputation to basically like space pirates. They may not be willing to talk, but I don't know. Maybe we could change their mind.
Where do we find them?
On the Astral Sea.
You mean we have to go into the Astral Sea first?
It's not ideal, but
I
Clock is
don't
ticking.
see how we could go directly there then.
Why?
You guys, there's lots
Why?
of monsters there. You guys are you two? Well, Irshc is already dead. Nerho, how do you feel about dying?
Yeah. That's not on the list of things to do in the next week or so. So let's make that clear.
When we go on adventures, who's the first one out of here? Usually with all the loot that you took from the dead people.
Exactly. Venestra.
Pretty sure.
I don't trust her at all. Sorry, you were referring to someone else.
Oh yeah.
The only reason why I
femur
went through
bone,
the loot
friends.
was because they really needed some arrows for my bow. So it was a brand new bow.
It's just my boo.
It's a brand new bow.
So, I keep having a question in my mind. Why does this Leviathan, this beast on the Astral Sea, have this page? Why?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, there was
we
the
found
Book
the
of
other-
Whispers.
The Book of Whispers, and we went to the Shadow Realm,
You have
and
a page all the way out there.
it makes no sense. I mean, okay,
Maybe
fine.
he's
they're
Ganjor's
all-
pet.
Well,
No.
if we're going to get something and we need to get past the Leviathan, what we're getting is way more important than anything we've done. What if it's a piece of Ganjor?
Like the
I mean,
phylactery is like. Are you trying to compare it to Tearing Souls?
There's no Harry here.
Okay.
No Harry.
Stray will
Right?
kind of interject and be like, Irshc, you're not that far off. I mean, when it comes to
Oh, no.
liches, phylactery is, basically like contains their soul,
Knowledge.
kind of. Like,
It's-
it just
yeah.
like,
It's knowledge at the very least.
if we have all of it, then we kind of force him into the material plane. And if we are able to destroy the phylactery, then we make Ganjor vulnerable. He's no longer immortal. We can then kill him. So
Right.
it's kind of as important as finding a piece of himself.
And you think this dreadnought is like his little puppy dog guarding the sheet.
I don't know for sure, but that
If it
might
if
be
it's
a
important,
reason why.
Yeah, I would think if we're going to get this and there is an astral dreadnought, from what we've learned so far, which we should probably learn a little more if we
Right.
could, it's not there for much more than making sure nobody gets the phylactery.
Right, and we have the other 2 pages. This is the last piece of this phylactery. This is the final step to pull Ganjor. If I'm speaking wrongly, whatever. But this is the last step before we can confront Ganjor in a material plane, as I understand it. So we got to go to this Astral Sea, get the page somehow, bring it back. We combine it. Ganjor appears before us, and then we somehow defeat him. But
Right.
this is extremely important for us. But this beast on the Astral Sea has no idea that we have the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps for us, it's a collectible. It's some sort of bounty that we're on.
Right. Now, Nero, I just thought of something. You're actually the only one who can do it with your ring of invisibility because unfortunately I can't hold papers anymore. I can be invisible. I can probably help distract him. Like, I'm over here. No, I'm not. I'm over here. No, I'm not. I'm back there. And do that whole thing. But I actually couldn't help you like I thought I could, friend.
Well, I mean, okay, that's one idea, but it seems that this beast, as was described by the librarian, as multitude of attacks that they could take upon us, and not just attacks in the physical way, but wish and these different kinds of spells that it can use to figure out some sort of ruse that it's being tricked or fooled by beings. And don't forget, we are ethereal bodies in this astral sea, and our cords to our bodies can be severed at any moment, and at that point we are dead.
That is
so we must
true.
go in there with a very, very clear plan.
But I don't have a body. And
well,
Irshc
good for
doesn't
you.
have a soul. I don't think Irshc has a soul. Do reborns have souls? Irshc, I never asked you that before.
We need to go into the astral plane and fight something the likes we probably have never seen close to. And you want to talk philosophy about my soul?
I'm just saying,
Nothing changes
if you
in
don't have a soul, then nobody can snip it off for you. Just like I don't have a body, so I don't think they can snip me.
Okay, well then, can you be brought to the Astral Sea? I'll ask that question. You're a ghost. I'm talking to nothing right now.
That's true.
All
Stray.
respect saying, but currently I'm talking to nothing in a seat right now to everybody else in this room, including the one I bought a drink for. Never mind. Anyways, that guy I bought a drink for. He's looking at me talking to nothing right now.
That's true. Stray, Dax, do you guys know if I can even go to the astral
I
plane?
think my thoughts are you are here on the physical plane, and you can move to the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
Well, there's two. There's a good chance you can make it to the astral plane as well.
Okay.
Stray and Dagger will kind of like look at each other and like just kind of like whisper words back and forth and just be like, I've never heard of such a thing. I'm kind of curious to try it, see what happens.
Great.
Only if
We're
it means
guinea
like
pigs.
that you'll survive, of course.
What will the ramifications
problems.
be? I mean,
I don't know, but we're gonna write it down.
You're already dead. What's the problem? You've got a coffee from cock coming from you if it doesn't work.
well, if I use up all my hit points, then I'll come back in a few hours, I guess.
Stray will kind of speak up and be like, look, if this astral dreadnought thing, if it could be reasoned with, maybe there's something that it wants that we can give it, or maybe we can convince it not to serve Gandor anymore if that's what it's doing. I don't think fighting this is what we want to do.
No.
No.
We have to think of the easiest way to go in there, locate him, grab the phylactery, and get out.
Well, do we have time to? Do we have another week to do some research on the Leviathan?
You would, yeah.
Yes. I think if we learn about, we do a little research on the astral dreadnought, we might be able to know what we're looking for when we get there in order to maybe snag an astral guy thing, and then at least be able to convey to them what we're looking for. And then also maybe we can learn something to, I don't know, guess kind of shake in front of his face. It'll probably be me. And while Nerho the Invisible and
The great invisible, thank you very much.
maybe Kayleesha can go and snag this phylactery. And,
Ghost Leisha.
Ghost Kayleesha. I should change my name, huh?
so I got some
All right, so
So do we
You
want to go
can-
back and see Quoz and Clen Creek again and have a little chat?
anything that extends Nero's life and can help you move on.
Thanks.
So, just a reminder, doing research will take a entire work week, which is
Okay.
5 days. It will cost you 50 gold pieces, like just to like get in the door as far as like the suggested donation to the Luminous Vault, as well as like, note-taking materials, fine ink, quills, parchment, stuff like that.
Post-it notes. Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
You get a it comes down to an it comes down to an intelligence check, which would be led by Stray with advantage because you're all helping him.
Okay.
And you get a +1 bonus to that check for each additional 50 gold that you spend, to a maximum of +6.
Plus 6,
so
350.
Exactly.
Damn it, monster.
So if you wanted to like maximize that bonus, you would be spending 350 gold total.
Okay.
And then it comes down to an intelligence check, and you have to pick like one like topic to focus your research efforts on. So it could be navigating the Astral Sea. It could be the Astral Dreadnought itself. I mean, you've already learned quite a lot, but if you wanted to like go further, that could be a topic. It could be like what kind of creatures are in the Astral Sea. It could be like Ganjor and like anything known about him. You have lots of options, but for each one, it's going to take time and gold. So it's up to you how you want to spend that.
I don't have any money anymore, Irshc.
I have money.
So do I. So do I.
I don't need to eat or sleep, so I save coin. He needs
cuts down on the budget.
He finds coin.
So what's the question?
So what do we learn?
How do we distract a Leviathan?
I think we go a little broader, only because it is my 350 gold.
I may not need it, but I don't want to spend it.
How do you play with a Leviathan? Right, got it.
Well, if we learn about the creatures of the astral plane, we can learn whom to maybe use as a willing guide would be nice. And maybe we can cheat with, since the astral dreadnought resides there, he's one of those creatures.
So
We could ask Calypso. She seemed to have known a lot. If she can be a guide. But that's only a guide through the Astral Sea. It's not necessarily any information about a Leviathan.
and we're not talking just about a Leviathan. We're talking about a Leviathan that is indebted or indentured by Ganjor.
Yeah.
So while there may be many beasts and many creatures on this astral sea, how does he command this one? And what are the circumstances behind this one beast? What advantage, what curse, what command does he have over this one pet that the librarian may not have an answer to?
It can't be absolute control, that's for sure. Stray kind of speaks up at this point. Every pet can be turned against its master. It's just a matter of finding the right leverage.
True.
What do Leviathans eat?
We know they like psychic energy. It's kind of what they feed on.
Which
They are attracted to the bursts of psychic energy that emanate from planar travel. So it's possible just by us going there, it would be attracted to where we were. If there's some kind of way to muster up a ton of psychic energy, that might be a way to set some bait for it.
Would I be classified as psychic energy now that I'm a ghost?
I think you would be.
Can he eat me?
At the very least, you could end up in a plane within his stomach.
Yeah, his gullet is in another realm. But if he does eat me, can I fly out through his body before I get digested into another dimension?
I have a feeling that he doesn't digest you at all.
Yeah,
I think it's
like
something
he
far
absorbs.
different. This is
sucks for
this is not
thousands of years.
yeah, this is not like a common beast. It probably doesn't need to eat at all. At least like no one in
Not
the astral
the way
plane
we
needs to
think.
eat or sleep.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, maybe he slowly rips out all your thoughts and memories over 1,000 years.
Ooh.
I have a feeling
That Boba Fett.
if he doesn't want you going in or out, then you're not going in or out.
How
How would
to
you like to
distract?
research?
How to distract a dreadnought. We need to know how to distract a dreadnought. Has anybody written any books on how to distract a dreadnought?
Okay, so we can use Calypso to maybe help guide us.
I think Calypso hasn't given us all the information she could give us before we spend a week and 350 gold pieces over here at the library.
We might have a guide. So what I'm thinking we should probably learn more about this Leviathan.
And she may be impressed as well with what we already have learned about the astral plane and everything surrounding it since we've spoken to her, so we can speak more of a pun intended level plane with her.
True.
Well, if we're all done in the library here, we can go back to the shoreline where I died. And I remember how to get to her underwater cave. I can go and zoop in there and bring her back to shore for you guys.
Sounds fantastic.
If we can get her on our side, yes.
Okay.
It's within her best interest, if you think about it. It's within everyone's best interest to destroy Ganjor.
Okay. So, are you guys done with the library with your research? Did you research everything
I don't think we spent anything. We were just talking.
We haven't researched anything yet.
Yeah, we didn't have a question, so I think we're leaning more towards going back to Calypso, see if she can supplement our information before, or at least help us define a question. That's
a good idea.
That we can go back to the librarian and whatever his name is there, and figure out more information.
Sure Calypso would help?
No, but it couldn't hurt to try.
Right. It's worth the effort.
We have to exhaust all areas.
All right,
and she didn't seem too pissed off at us. Like, she didn't seem like she was tired of us when we left her. Like, don't come back till you have all the answers.
She's nice. Yeah, she's nice.
And she didn't say, like, don't come back to me until you have well, she did say, actually, she did say, return to me when you have the last page.
Oh, crap.
She did say that, actually.
Oh, no. She did say that. Okay, so we're not going to go there then. But now we know how to get a hold of her when it is time.
So I think...
Did she say not to come back until you did?
No, she didn't.
Or simply return it?
Return. Yes, she said, when you have the third page, reach out to me and we'll go to the next step.
Yeah.
She did want you to return it, but she didn't want to she wasn't like, now get out and
yes, exactly.
Throw you out like
yes. Yeah.
It was more like have fun storming the castle.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's game on then. We're gonna go take a walk to the shore.
Let's go talk to Calypso.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're at the shore and I flew into the water and went to her cave and told her that we learned about the astral plane and we learned about the astral dreadnought and we need her help, but I asked her very kindly if she can come back to the shore with me so that she could talk to a couple of my friends.
Okay. Yeah, it takes you a little bit, but kind of retracing your steps, you're able to basically travel through the lake deep underneath the surface of the water and make your way to Calypso's cave. Basically switching back and forth between the ethereal plane and the material plane to help aid your navigation. And as you do so, you kind of emerge and you see Calypso basically like knitting herself like a large blanket. And as you approach, it seems to be made out of like seaweed, some like like old fishing nets that have kind of been either tangled up in something or kind of lost in the midst of time. And are you making yourself visible?
I am, and I'm going to say knock knock. Excuse me. Hi,
Yes,
Priestess.
yes.
Calypso. Hi, do you remember me? My name's Kayleesha. You
Oh yes, my child. Yes. Come in.
Hi,
How is your
friend.
new life treating you?
I'm still trying to get used to a few things, but especially the possessions. I can never get the voices right. My
Yeah, it's a son of a bitch, isn't it?
it really is.
Yes.
Really is. But I did possess 2 people already, and it went pretty well. So
Oh, wonderful. Good. I'd offer you some tea, but you know.
I know it just goes right through me anyway. Typical
Good.
chick.
Have you gotten the phylactery yet?
Not yet. That is exactly why I'm here. Calypso, I was wondering, we've been doing weeks of research now, and we found out all about the Astral Sea, the dangers that are involved, and the Leviathan, the dreadnought that's guarding the phylactery. We need a little bit more help, though. We know how to get into the Astral Sea. We don't know how to get a guide through the Astral Sea, and we don't know how to distract a Leviathan. Is there anything that you would know that you can come back to the shore with me and talk to all of my friends and myself about it?
You've learned an awful lot. Where did you find this information?
Oh, the really cool library. We were helped by Quoz and Clen Creek.
The Luminous Vault?
Yes, it's amazing there.
I got thrown out of there 20 years ago.
Did you really?
Yes, you did. In fact, you've done me a big favor, so thank you.
You're welcome. I am glad we could help you. Can I ask what you got thrown out for? Give a ghost a little bit of gossip.
Spill the tea.
You know, tried to reverse engineer the way they make all the books invisible, and I got pretty far, but a little over the line.
Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense than what I was thinking, but you know, I'm still trying to get
I prefer learning in nature anyway.
Still trying to get used to my new ghost brain, so.
Only so much you can learn from books.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you need a guide on the Astral Sea?
We do.
I could perhaps be of assistance.
Can you know the Astral Sea?
Well, yes, dearie, I've sailed it. In a manner of speaking.
Please come with me to the shore and talk to my friends. We really, really would love your help. For the good of humanity and Tempest Bay, please help us.
I suppose I don't have anything better to do. All right,
that is
I'll do
a very pretty blanket, by the way.
Thank you.
Seaweed.
It gets a little cold here sometimes. It's nice to bundle up. Okay, let me call some octopi and we'll get to the shore.
All right.
And she just kind of gets up and gets her whale bone jaw staff and just kind of like starts hobbling towards the kind of entrance to the cave. And kind of on cue, these 2 kind of octopi show up and dragging like a kind of small, almost like a lifeboat. like a glorified canoe, basically. And once again, she kind of like reaches out with her magic and kind of like waterproofs it, and then you don't have to float by me, dearie. If you're fast enough, you could just meet me on the shore, float on ahead.
I will. Thanks, Calypso. And I'm
Yes.
back at the shore.
All right. So, long story short, she is able to join you on the shore and follow you back to the Red 5 Tavern.
Great.
Wow.
And Nero, Irshc, Stray, Dags. This is Calypso. She can guide us through the Astral Sea. She's the guardian of Tempest Bay. She knows a lot of stuff. She's the one who brought me back as a ghost.
Yes, you don't need to sing my praises, dearie. My reputation precedes me.
Well, thank you for your presence. And by the way, that is a wonderful knitted blanket. I love the way
she's kind of like wearing it
used-
like a shawl at this point.
Yes.
And,
I love the way you use the discarded shrimp tails that get stuck in your teeth. A smooth way of adding those as bling to your coat. Anyways, yes.
Yes, they're quite nice, aren't they?
Yes. They reflect the light wonderfully. It brings out the color in your dead hair. Now, when we talk about navigating the Astral Sea, do we need a guide, or is there a way that we can focus or find a way to localize our energy to where we want to be?
Yes, if you've been there before. Or if you use a portal. The astral plane is full of portals to other planes, other modes of existence. If you take the same portal, you'll end up in the same place every time, but if you just pop yourself over there, then, well, it's a bit random unless you know where you're going. Being first-time travelers, you'll probably pop up somewhere random, but I do have means to find you if you go there.
Calypso,
I've not
would you
Yes?
come with us? Would you be able to come with us since you're
That's
so
why I'm here,
experienced?
isn't it?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm
You
sorry.
call me out of my cave and then you ask if I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming.
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
She's a muppet.
I'm dead.
It's not an excuse. So you seem very well traveled and highly
Well traveled is putting it lightly, youngster.
nice.
Oh, nice. Youngster.
Have you ever seen an astral dreadnought anywhere sailing the seas of the astral existence?
Well, yes, I have. This Leviathan. It guards a phylactery that means a lot to me. It was used to instill power over the village where I grew up, to seal everyone in stasis and provide power to Ganjor. That's why I need it back in order to free them.
Absolutely.
Fair. So
I was able to track it down, going back through history to a shipwreck some 20 years ago here in Tempest Bay. I know somehow this Leviathan broke through the astral plane and confronted Ganjor. I don't know exactly what happened, but at the end of it, the Leviathan was banished back to the astral plane, and they say Ganjor swam alone to sea, the only survivor to tell the tale. Now, I don't know if I believe that bullshit, but it makes a good story.
I'm so glad she's coming with us.
She said bullshit.
Calypso, we're kind of under the impression that the dreadnought might actually be Gonjor's pet. Is that just hearsay, or could it really be possible that the dreadnought is under his spell? Or
Let me check my notes for a second.
Just scroll down to bullshit.
she says bullshit, and
You just want to hear her say bullshit.
I'd say it.
Yeah, I do.
I'd say it's possible. It's possible, but thinking through a lich and a astral dreadnought, if the lich were to have a pet, astral dreadnought's a quite a powerful pet to have. I don't know. It doesn't add up to me. It might be possible, but I might be a stretch even for Ganjor. Something tells me something else is going on.
is there any way to communicate with this Leviathan? Because if he doesn't like Gonjor and he's not Gonjor's pet, and Gonjor is the one who banished him, there might be a possible way, if we could communicate with it, to make a deal with him. If he gives us the paper, if he gives us the phylactery, we'll take him and show him where the Shadow Realm is. And he can, deal with Gonjor directly, too. He might be able to assist us. Is that a far stretch? Is that just my ghosty imagination?
Well, there are all manner of spells to scry on a target, to be able to communicate with them, see what they're up to from far away. That's quite an old tradition in magical circles, I'll tell you, but it's really a bit of a crapshoot unless you know the creature you're trying to communicate with. It's better if you have a possession of theirs, a garment of clothing that they wear, perhaps, or even a bit of hair or a clipped nail, something like that. That makes it far more easier. A little tough to do with the Leviathan.
It was just a thought.
It was a good thought, but the wrong one.
Wow. I admire your candor. It's quite appreciated. Fair maiden, you
don't have to flatter me, half man.
I'm not. You said that this event took place 20 years ago.
Yes?
Where was this event? Was it here in Tempest Bay?
Yes, Tempest Bay.
So
Let's have it.
You're not sure of how this story played out 20 years ago. But
It's all hearsay and drunken sailors' tales. There's probably a core of truth to it, but it was 20 years ago. Hard to verify. Not every bit of history is written down, you see.
Yeah.
But is it possible to find someone who knows what happened 20 years ago?
Is anyone here 20 years ago? Anyone? Anyone 20 years ago?
How old is Crack?
Ooh. As if he's going to help.
He's no good.
Honestly, I don't know.
How old is Crack? I never asked how old Crack and Kark were.
That's a Charles question. I don't think kobolds lived all that long.
No.
Yeah.
Not in Tempest Bay, at least.
kobold lifespan.
It was just
Add
a
that
tiny
to my. I'm wrong. Kobolds can live up to 135 years.
Ah,
Ooh.
Tell you what,
Was
I'm
he
gonna roll a
the,
percentile die.
was he the
gonna roll
tavern keep
percentile
20
die.
years ago?
I will give you a 20% chance that he knows.
Okay.
Ooh.
So I'll roll some
Ooh.
percentile
Okay.
dice, and if
Nice.
it's 20 or lower, then he knows.
If it's 20 or lower. Okay. Which die do I use?
28.
Ah.
28.
Oh, I thought I was going to roll the die.
No. DM.
Oh.
Kark just kind of shrugs like, mm.
Mm.
Me not know.
He's seeing
Yep,
glasses.
Cleaning glassware, kind of minding his own business.
Me not know. Oh.
Can I use my charisma to talk to the crowd a little easier than anybody here that's been here 20 years ago? To maybe schmooze them over a little bit to share what they know. Anyone know of a shipwreck 20 years ago?
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Nice.
22.
22, pretty good. It takes a little bit, but eventually you see kind of a short figure kind of like emerge from the crowd, and older gentleman, and he kind of like hobbles over and he says, "Yes, I was here 20 years ago. I think I remember it. What do you want to know?"
What's special about it?
You said something about a shipwreck?
I did. Probably about 20 years ago out here in Tempest Bay. Do you remember it?
Let's see.
Only had one survivor. Maybe a giant Leviathan.
Shouldn't be too hard to remember.
I think he fell asleep.
Yeah. Maybe show a gold piece or two.
What? What did you ask?
I asked you if you like gold first.
I'm a dwarf. What do you think? Yes.
Silly question. So, here's some gold. I'm gonna give him about 10 gold pieces and ask him again. How much do you remember of the shipwreck 20 years ago with only one survivor?
Shipwreck 20 years ago. Let's see.
So,
Did Aaron freeze?
no, he didn't.
Judging by his age, we got about another 2 minutes before he gets back that far.
Nero walks back over and sort of taps the old guy on the shoulder.
20 years ago. 20 years ago. No shit. There I was. Sitting on the dock of the bay. When I saw a slaver ship come in. Yes, with my own eyes. Ship full of slaves ready for the market. And on the deck was Kenjor, Lord of the Shadow Realm. I smelled him. Yes. Full of slaves ready for the market. And he was going to bring them in. But then a terrifying creature emerged from stormy clouds out of nowhere. And it seemed poised to swallow the ship whole. Kenjor said something to the creature. And it paused, seemed to weigh his words, consider it. I don't know what was said, but in an instant, the ship and the terrifying creature were gone, vanished into nowhere. And Kenjor alone swam onto the shore. I feared for my life, so I ran and hid, but I saw it with my own eyes.
Nero slides over 20 gold pieces. That was worth every gold piece right here.
Thank you, stranger.
So, you said slavers. This is not the first time we've encountered slaves with Ganjor.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember the slave ship?
Yeah,
Back, oh, wow.
a long time ago.
A long time ago, there was a mimic on that ship,
Yeah,
Yep.
and I wanted to save everybody.
and you couldn't. And
I
Irshc was there
couldn't.
trying to battle through the door, and
Yeah.
they ended up dying.
Yeah.
And that was like the bounty that Sam, like
Yeah.
OG Sam, was trying to get.
Right.
Yes. And then Sam just disappeared.
But the sleeves are wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So okay, I say to the old guy here, so this ship with the slaves disappeared along with this beast, and all that
To
was
thin
left
air.
was thin air. Yes, yes, yes. And all that was left was Ganjor, this being swimming towards the shore.
Yes.
But they had words before it was all done.
Yes. Yes. I was too far away to hear anything, but they spoke. Ganjor himself talked to this terrible creature. Must have had quite the words to say.
What did this creature look like?
Oh, it was terrifying. It had a giant eyeball and a hideous wide-toothed maw and giant claws like lobsters and a tail that seemed to stretch to the horizon. I'll never forget it, long as I live.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Do you know of anybody else? Of your friends,
Did anyone speak with Ganjor once he swam to shore?
Mm.
No one else was there. I was a drunkard then, I'm a drunkard now. I lost sight of Ganjor after he came to shore. Like I said, I hid. Didn't want to be seen.
Can anybody else say they saw something similar, just so we can know that we know what we're looking for? Anybody else you know that we can go and speak to just for a few minutes?
Is anyone else there? Anyone else?
No.
Anyone?
Not here, but did you take notice? If you remember 20 years ago, was there anybody else who may have witnessed this event that we can go and speak to right now to see if they have some additional information? And he throws, like, he shows 3 gold pieces to him. It's worth another 3 gold pieces if you can recollect anybody, any name.
Deckhand, a shop owner. Oh, Nero, can you tell him a deckhand, a
see.
shop
A
owner?
deckhand, a shop owner, a fishmonger. What else?
A
Yes,
guy
I
named
know who
Bob.
lives here. Let me think.
He taps him.
Working.
It's not working. Reboot. Control Alt Delete and re-enter your password. I don't know what.
Password can't be a password you've used in the last 2 years.
He goes up right in front of him. Okay. So we are done with this one. What? 3D?
Nope, not that I can
3D
recall.
Oh my gosh.
Give him the 3 gold. That was worth every second.
I agree. You slide over the 3 gold.
You could keep giving me gold all night, stranger.
I could, but it's going to have to be worth foot.
Kind of like
So,
start waddling off.
That was
All right.
helpful to a point.
to a point, yes. So
I don't know where that came from.
that's the beauty of it.
It was a good place.
So we've got Gantor making a deal with the Leviathan. We don't know what it was. The slaver ship is gone. The Leviathan is gone. And Gantor remains swimming to the shore.
Yeah.
I still think we need to go learn about this dreadnought. We're missing something. Slave ships, seemingly ready to abandon slaves on multiple occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's feeding this Leviathan some souls.
So
Maybe I should float into our good old friend Captain Dildo's office. Let's see if I could shove my head in the desk, find something in there, possibly. I don't trust that guy, and he probably would have been around 20 years ago.
yeah, because he rose to the ranks.
Yeah. And the way he runs things over at that prison, there's something about that guy.
That's true, because he even said at one point in one of the other adventures that he was like just a soldier a long time ago. He may have information for sure. Yeah. And that kind of event would be like, I'm saying, if a drunkard in Red 5 Tavern is sitting there and reading, and recounting a story of him, whatever, being on the shore.
Yeah.
I tell you, I saw this ship and proof was gone. Sorry, Aaron, it's not quite as eloquent as you said it, but if he saw it and remembers it 20 years ago, it's very likely that other people have, recalled that as well.
Right. Should we talk to him, or should I just snoop around and see if I can find anything on Ganjor and the slave incident?
You think you'll find anything on it at the library?
Oh, we have a more specific question now, right?
Oh.
What did the librarian say was there?
Checks notes.
Luminous vault, brain, lore.
Talk that over. Be right back in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
we could go to the library and ask for media clips of what happened 20
years ago in Tempest Bay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They would, I'm sure it would have been written in the news,
Yeah. Microfiche.
Yeah. Microfiche.
Hey, we're going to use the microfiche.
It's going to turn to a David Fincher procedural.
Tempest Bay Gazette. 20 years ago.
Tempest Bay, she wrote.
Totally didn't plan this, but I'm drinking Sea Quench Ale.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
that sounds refreshing.
You know what? It is.
I'm drinking.
Blissfully brewed with lime juice, lime peel, black limes, and sea salt.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It's a tsunami of flavor.
It is. It
I can always ask them if they want to sponsor our little game sesh here.
Mm.
Help a brother out.
Hold it up really nice, Aaron. You know, do this.
Exactly. I do the.
This is not an advertisement for Sea Quench Ale.
But it's an advertisement for Sequence Jail.
Snickers.
All right. So you're heading to the library. You're going to try to find any other accounts of what may or may not have happened 20 years ago with Ganjor.
Specific night on 20 years ago. Yeah, that's a specific question. That is
a specific question.
Mm-hmm.
And
it sounds like you want
Nerho,
more on that Leviathan.
Yeah. And Nerho looks over at Irshc and says, "Look, I'm willing to go halvesies on this with you because I think we finally found some information that we need to further delve into, and I don't want you in the afterlife pestering me for money. So I will go halvesies with you on this time."
Well, I appreciate that. You didn't pick my pocket and take 175 coins out, did you?
No.
Not this time. I got you.
No. Yeah, right. Not today. Completely above board with you today. In the last 4 hours, yes.
Right.
Gonna fly up behind Nero's ears and say, "Remember, I'm watching."
Stop! I didn't do anything.
It never gets old.
It really doesn't.
Okay, so we've got enough to I'll contribute my suggested donation for maxing out.
So 350, right, in total?
Mm-hmm.
So 350 and 2 is...
I got $1.75.
Yep.
Okay. So you head on over to the Luminous Vault, able to make your acquaintance as you have in the past few weeks, to a very happy to see you, head librarian. And so you're going to spend the whole 350?
The whole 350.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm just gonna say hi, Quozen.
Yes. Hello. Good to see you as always.
And good to see you.
Freeloader.
Good to see our gold.
Okay,
guy
let me
knows.
pull up Stray's stat block here. How you doing, YouTube chat? You doing okay? Hope you're having a fantastic evening.
Yeah.
Actually, do we have a Stray stat block? I don't think we do. Okay. He's like level 14-ish. Okay, we'll use that bonus. And what's the first thing that you're researching?
What happened? I think like we're going to discuss this right now before we commit this, but we are discussing. We want to know what happened 20 years ago in Tempest Bay, surrounding the event that had a slaver ship with this being or this creature that disappeared in the bay and ended with Ganjor being the lone, creature swimming to a shore in Tempest Bay. Like what happened there? Is that what we're asking?
Yeah.
That's what
It is.
Okay, so after a work week of research, you basically comb through you ask around, and there's a section of the Luminous Vault that is dedicated to basically news reports, broadsheets, and it takes a long time to kind of scour through just a huge collection of broadsheets dating back many, many years for Tempest Bay, but you are able to find one from about 20 years ago that stands out. And this is basically like a broadsheet news article which describes a mass sighting of celestial phenomena. And it's basically illustrated with like a woodcut engraving by what appears to be like a large like alien worm looking thing with like kind of claws and like one big eye and like a triangular mouth, basically descending on this like ship. And the actual text basically reads out as follows. On the morning of this day, at daybreak between 4 and 5 a.m., a dreadful apparition occurred, blocking out the sun. And then this was seen in Tempest Bay in the city, before the gates and in the country by many men and women. At first there appeared in the middle of the sun this horrific creature, appearing to be of like a snake or a worm or a lobster all in one. And it, appeared and became larger and larger in sight and frightened many townspeople. And it seemed to come into conflict with this ship coming into sail in the harbor. Not much is known about what took place next, except there was a grand conflagration of magical energy of some sort, which seemed to make the ship and this apparition disappear. There are several witnesses who attest to a lone figure kind of swimming onto the shore, but no one was able to get in touch with this person to figure out like what happened. Whatever such signs mean, the gods alone know. Although we have seen shortly one after another many kinds of signs in the heaven which are sent to us by the almighty gods to bring us to repentance. We still are, unfortunately, so ungrateful that we despise such high signs and miracles of God. And it basically like keeps going on about like expert religion leaders of the town kind of weighing in on what such signs and wonders could mean. So that's you kind of understand that's kind of like the end of the factual reporting of it.
Right. But like totally corroborating what he said, basically. 100%. Holy crap.
So you rolled a natural 20. So you find the actual broadsheet.
Wow. So what could this worm thing be? This alien worm that has a giant eye, a triangle mouth, and looks like a snake worm lobster.
I mean, based on like what you've researched already about the Astral Dreadnought, it seems to match with.
Oh my gosh!
But you get the feeling that like the woodcut engraving, like there's several layers of like misinterpretation between the eyewitness accounts of it and the artistic interpretation.
Right.
We just know that would make an amazing surf and turf meal. I mean, this sounds phenomenal.
Sounds like something a rat boy would say. Just saying.
Don't go there, please. My gosh. When is your ghost form done? So, wow. So the drunkard was like 100% on the spot.
Wow. Okay. So now we know what we're dealing with.
So, and also that Ganjor had some sort of communication with this beast.
He has necessarily some sort of energy.
In what way? Like, what do you mean?
Well, slave ships disappearing.
The slaves. Holy
The
crap.
fear.
So you mean like the slaves themselves were like part of the
Possible
transaction?
I think that's the
Vanished.
possibility.
And Calypso did say if we got that last phylactery, she'll be able to bring the ship back. She'll be able to bring those.
That's not exactly
people
what she
back.
said. She basically said like her people were like from her village were frozen in stasis. And the phylactery had could be used to basically like free them. But she
Right.
didn't say anything about like a slave ship or anything.
Right. No,
That's right. That's
So
right.
she's got a personal, like a personal story part of it to this whole large story.
Right. Well, we have a means to get there. We have a means to get home. Calypso can guide us through. Now we know what we're dealing with, what it looks like. Now we just need to know how to deal with it.
Yeah, can we negotiate with it?
well, we're
Yeah.
not going to be able to fight it.
No, you're
Is-
right. Yeah,
It's
it's
massive.
Is
Yeah.
this thing smart?
What can we offer it? I think that's what we need to
Can we
Or at least
communicate
entice
with it?
with in order to distract. I don't think I have any magical means to do that.
We
Yeah, I've got-
really can offer to take him back to fight Ganjor with us. He might have a bone to pick with that guy. After all,
He may.
Ganjor was the one who banished him to the Astral Sea.
well, we didn't. I mean, he didn't ban it. I mean, yeah, it's possible.
Well, I'm just assuming because he just disappeared with the whole
Right.
ship of slaves. And now he's in the Astral Sea. So maybe
With-
Ganjor
with a
banished-
page. I mean, that's Ganjor sending a creature to the Astral Sea with a page
Yeah.
of the phylactery, regardless of the fact that we have the other two, and this third one is like the key piece of it.
Yeah.
Why? But I think you're on the right path. Is that the Ganjor sending this creature to the astral plane is critical.
Right.
And I'm just looking through my. I don't have many. I got two weapons that are considered magical, like plus one. So
How do
Where-
you
where-
befriend him, though? I mean, you know, I'm Kayleesha. I try to befriend everything. Is there a way to befriend a dreadnought?
I don't think you make friends with them.
you try and live.
Yeah. I'm looking through all of my stuff and
Well, do we feel confident that we have enough of a story or a history to why this thing is there that we can get to the astral plane and start by getting a guide to get us there? I mean, is that a
You know a
starting
decent
point?
amount about astral dreadnoughts, plural. But
mhm.
do you think you'd be able to find out anything about this particular one?
How? The people who were on the ship with him, there's a drunk guy. Calypso only knows about the
You-
phylactery. She knows the Astral Sea. Is
You brought up,
Calypso still with us?
I mean, she's banned from the library, but
Oh,
you
that's
know,
right.
she's hanging out at the Red
Still
Five
there.
Tavern if you need her.
Running up a tab.
Yeah, running
You
up.
mentioned you mentioned Gilbo. That
Yeah.
could be interesting because he's been around for quite a while.
Should we go stop in and see him?
We do have a special status with him. I mean,
Pardon.
we were pardoned, but also he's using us when he needs us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we have to necessarily sneak or use your ghost powers. But would he be upfront with us about Ganjor and what happened 20 years ago?
I have a feeling he has a deal with Ganjor. It's just a personal feeling. He's gotten evil, Nerho. He's gotten evil.
What do you think, Irshc? Do you think that perhaps Kayleesha goes on a low-key reconnaissance mission?
Or if you guys if you guys want to talk to him and then he doesn't want to talk, I can always pull out some horrifying visage on him.
Well, he does have his dispel magic around the entire keep, but you're not magic. You are part of a different plane. You can make it through and not raise any suspicion.
I can. Do you want me to talk to him or do you want me to just snoop around his office?
I'm leaning towards snoop around his office.
Yeah, let's go dark.
Yeah, because I think that he uses us for what he needs. Perhaps it's time that we use him for what we need.
Sounds good. All right. Are we done with the library?
Are you sure you'll be able to effectively snoop around his office? You didn't have much luck with the guest book at the Red 5 Tavern.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Shit.
Well,
unless it's sitting out in plain sight, she wouldn't be able to manipulate.
I can't stick my head into a book up to a certain page because I'm not experienced enough to do that.
You don't have a body. You can't manipulate objects.
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
But how are you able to get Princess Sprinkles a hug?
Aha!
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, I need to get past the magic first, and then I could possess a guard, and then I could turn the magical fence off, and then you guys could come in.
Or possess Gilbo.
Ooh.
Oh.
Bring him to us.
Yeah. I could do that. It'll be a little bit of a task, but I could possess him and then go through all of his stuff. Right?
Makes sense.
Or I could just I could go through all of his stuff. I could grab some books or whatnot. And then I could make Gilbo walk back to the Red 5 Tavern with all those books. Or I would need a wagon. And he's got horses.
Or it just becomes a... Maybe Irshc and I request an audience with Gilbo.
Mm-hmm.
You follow along, and we just start talking about an event 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
See where it goes.
See if he's willing to talk.
If he's not, then
and if he's not,
then it's showtime.
And then we're in his office, where you would assume that his most private information is in there.
Right.
And then you just literally just show us where it is or present it to us and give it to us. And then.
Yeah. And ask him where it is first. See if he looks
Right,
any which way.
right,
Because
right,
usually
some
when
sort of-
people lie or say they don't know, they'll look like right in that direction.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. Like I know that. I'm so smart.
all right. I'm going to remain I'm not going to allow them to see me. I heard that, Nero.
So basically, Irshc and I are going to go to the keep and request an audience as part of the pardoned with
Mm-hmm.
Gilbo, not dildo, Gilbo. Just to be clear.
Okay.
I'm just floating. Nobody can see me. Only Nero and Irshc can see me.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So, what's the marching order for heading to the keep?
I'll go first.
All right. You're headed
I'll
first.
be safely behind. Yes.
And
Okay,
I'm just
and then-
floating.
Floating, just kind of invisible.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you're able to head to the keep. By the time you're done researching, it's pretty late at night, so it's probably going to be like a first thing in the morning kind of appointment. But you're
Okay.
able to head to the keep, and you are a known quantity at the keep, so like the guards don't really even have to ask like who you are. And after explaining that you're here for Captain Gilbo, guard tells you to wait there. Then after like a few minutes, guard comes back and says, all right, the Protectorate Captain is ready to meet you. And he'll escort you basically up the keep to Gilbo's office. And Gilbo is basically just kind of sat there working over some paperwork. There's like a scribe nearby who he's kind of dictating a letter to. And as you kind of walk in, he just kind of like acknowledges you and then, motions to his scribe like, we'll resume this later. And welcomes you in and says, have a seat. Pardoned. What can I do for you today?
Well, honestly, I wanted to have a talk about a little history when it comes here to Tempest Bay. And
That's
events that
odd
took
request
place.
to bring here.
It follows along with the darkness that has taken over in this land, and we believe it's a link to an event in some way about 20 years ago, a shipwreck, or should we say a ship disappearance.
Seems like an odd thing for
So
a group of adventurers like you to be digging around through.
Well, we like all kinds of information. One can never be too prepared.
And adventure.
Yes, I'm
We're here for
sure.
the adventure.
Of course. Do you have any specific event in mind?
I think a lone survivor from a shipwreck at sea out in the bay. We found some talk of it, and we wanted to know what you may know about that event.
At this point, Nero's looking at his eyes to see if anything starts to present itself for giving away, like Kayleesha had suggested that there may be a slight reveal of what he's thinking or worried about, and if there's any indication of where he might be leading or hiding any sort of information that that would lead us to that information. I'd like to roll for perception on that one.
Sure, that would actually be an insight check.
Or that too. Which is wisdom. Sounds good. Like it. I got a +1. 20. Nice!
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, he's not here.
For that sucker. Yeah, baby.
I got your text, by the way, Charles. He seems like, I mean, you've got some history with him, and you're pretty familiar with kind of his mannerisms and everything. At this point, like, he doesn't seem to be concealing anything. He's more just like trying to figure out like, what are you after, and like, what's your play? Because like he knows you're up to something. He's just not sure what at this point, and he's a little confused on the line of questioning so far. And he'll kind of answer like, unfortunately, even with the lighthouse, Tempest Bay has its fair share of shipwrecks. They're not that uncommon. Is there any particular one that you're inquiring about?
I'm sure you know a person by the name of Ganjor.
Yes.
The shipwreck he is linked to. Or are there more than one?
He's like, he kind of like racks his brain a little bit, and he's like, yes, there was something, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or so. Some people say that Ganjor was part of a shipwreck, and there was some kind of giant creature or something that appeared. I wasn't awake to witness it. There were a few guards who did, and I did collect some statements from them. They might be in the archives somewhere. I could try to have someone track those down for you if you'd really like to.
That would be helpful.
Sure, we can arrange to have that done. I can have the results sent to your current abode. Is it the Red 5 Tavern now?
Right. Care of Irshc El Sono at red5tavern.com.
Yeah.
Noted.
And with the noted chit of at least 400 gold pieces for any expenses and or food and drink required to complete said mission.
Absolutely not.
Nice
And there's
try,
just like
hero.
no trace of humor in his response.
Do you guys want me to scare him?
Yeah, is there any, like, has he given any indication of, while we're talking about this, has he given any sort of physical notches or twitches or eye glances to anything that would have led us to the mere mention of Ganjor and that name?
That he might withhold.
Right, or be trying to hide.
It's a new line of questioning, so give me another insight check.
That's 15 plus 1, 16.
I mean, he seems to like recognize the name Ganjor, but then again, it's hard for like anyone with his kind of like political connectedness and power to not be familiar with Ganjor the way that events have transpired in the past few months. It doesn't seem to, or at least you can't seem to detect any sign that this could be taken any further than that.
Off the top of your head, do you remember if, while taking these statements, that anyone mentioned a conversation with the creature in the water? That would be.
I mean, it's
odd.
as It's been so long for what ultimately amounted to be something of a fairy tale or a drunken sighting. I mean, obviously something happened, but how do you investigate this kind of thing? I haven't thought about it. If there's anything, it'll be in the report that we generate for you.
Ask him about a ship full of slaves.
So you seem to say that this event 20 years ago was somewhat inconsequential. At your time, at the place, you're a god. But this ship was a slavish ship. And we all know that this region is familiar with the slavish ships up until months ago. Doesn't that resonate on some sort of level, whether you remember it or not, in the past?
I mean, I was just an investigator back then. According to a few witnesses, they recognized the name on the masthead as that belonging to a slaver ship. And I know Tempest Bay has an unfortunate history with slave ships of that type. But again, there was nothing really to investigate. We only have so many resources with guards and investigators at our disposal that after a day or two, everybody seemed to have moved on and forgotten about it, and it dropped to the bottom of the list. That's just how things go with keeping the peace.
So some sort of magical beast appears in the bay. A slaver ship is engulfed by it. A man called Ganjor speaks to this beast. The beast and the ship disappear, and he's swimming towards the shore alone. And this is just written off as just another day in Tempest Bay.
I mean, all unconfirmed. We got eyes on the bay. We combed the beaches. We didn't find any kind of evidence of any of this happening besides eyewitness accounts.
You said you had a report on this entire incident, yes?
Yes. We'll have our archivists look into it and get a report on that report itself and the eyewitness accounts and anything that we could find.
I'm going to roll a persuasion. And what I'd like to do is ask a very specific question.
Okay.
And say, if the question would be, okay, before I say it, I want to speak to Kayleesha and Irshc here. I want to draw him out on Ganjor if he knows something that he's not saying about Ganjor. So I want to sort of flush him out if possible. And the persuasion would be that if successful, he may divulge more than he's willing to do on his connection with Ganjor, or his knowledge of Ganjor. So I want to say something like, or ask like, this being that swam in the Tempest Bay, we know is to be Ganjor. Do you know where he is today? Or is he still active? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out some sort of way of drawing out what he may know about Ganjor.
And if not, I'll scare him.
Okay. All right. All right. So,
Yeah.
all right. I'm going to roll here. And my question is going to be, the name Ganjor keeps appearing in these fables, these stories about that day 20 years ago. What do you know about this person?
Okay.
14 plus 3. So 17.
Okay. He would reply, Ganjor has been a kind of figure of myth and legend for quite some time. Seems to have been spotted during this incident, but up until recently has not really come into prominence or across my desk. Until these attacks have started happening and reports of this black ooze and these corrupted creatures, and of course the unfortunate incident a few weeks ago in the bay. And the result of that was 17.
Yes.
You get the sense that he's not telling the whole truth. He's hiding something.
Is he divulging anything while he's doing that? Like a tick, a leaning, a twitch, anything? Or is it just completely stoic and I get the feeling that he's not being 100% honest?
There doesn't seem to be like a physical tell, but it's more instinct. It's kind of like a subconscious kind of connection.
Scare him.
Okay. He's going to need to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
What's the DC?
13.
He fails.
Yeah.
Describe
Okay.
what happens.
I'm going to use horrifying visage. Okay.
Ooh, damn.
I'm going to be this like creature. My eyes are hollow. Okay. Going to reach my arms out towards him and say, "Listen, Captain Dildo. You tell us about freaking Ganjur. I know. You know more than what you are saying. I've seen you kill people. I've seen what you've been doing to this village. I saw what you were trying to do to Stray. You need to spill right now."
Okay,
Just
when
like,
you do this, like your voice is just like booming and filling up like the whole office, and he just goes white as a sheet, just like paralyzed in fear, like.
And now he's scared for 24 hours. No, he's scared for 1 minute. He's scared for 1 minute.
Yeah. I'm scared for 24 hours. Thank you very much. My underwear need changing.
I'm gonna have to go with
Yeah,
Spider.
he just kind of like looks around the room and sees like none of you reacting to this, and he's just like, just can't find words.
I said now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All I know is on the 1st of every month, a pouch of gold appears on my desk, filled with 500 gold coins. I take it, and in exchange, I don't look into Ganjor. I don't think about Ganjor. I just look the other way.
So you've been screwing over your villagers all this time? For 11 months? No, for 13 months. You've been screwing over these villagers for 13 months. People are
20
dying
years.
out there.
Look, if it's not a sack of gold on that desk, it'll be my head. I'm trying to keep this village safe. The only way I could do that is if I stay alive.
You are doing one hell of a shitty job. Do you see all the... I died out there because you had gold. I died. You know, I'm like checking them,
Look.
you know, like...
And I stand behind Kayleesha and I say, yeah, exactly. See? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, hate me if you want. I'm doing the best thing that I know how to keep this village safe.
The best
I'm sorry
thing,
that I can't do any better.
the best thing you can do to keep this village safe is to give these guys what they're asking for so that we can go and defeat them. The
I don't know what
least
you
can
want.
do is to help us. We need to know what you are covering up and what you don't know about what happened 20 years ago.
Look, I know you're dumb, but you're not that dumb. If you're trying to do what Ganjor's doing, you don't let everybody know what you're up to. I've never met Ganjor. I've never spoken to him. I was approached by a messenger of his and given a threat.
Who's paying you? Who's paying you this money every month?
Ganjor is. A
Personally?
messenger of Ganjor appeared.
Who's
No.
the messenger?
I don't know his name, but a messenger of Ganjor appeared. I don't know how. They got past the defenses here. Appeared in my office like this lady did.
What did he look
It just
like?
told me. An undead elf or something? I don't know.
A
But-
goblin?
He appeared and he said, I'm a messenger of Ganjor. You're going to leave Ganjor alone. On the first of every month, either a sack of gold will be on your desk or your head.
He
Choose
wasn't
carefully.
Wasn't a goblin, was he?
I just told you, no.
Okay. Right.
That's all I know, and I've kept my mouth shut ever since then because, look, the people of Tempest Bay are depending on me. And I can't very well do
Right.
my job if I'm dead.
Right. And
Not
you're-
doing
well,
your
there's-
job alive either, buddy. I'm dead. I'm
No way I'm
Kayleesha.
looking-
You remember me.
Of course I remember
She
you.
was part of the pardoned, of course. But here you are taking blood money, or maybe perhaps we should call it black ooze money, as the rest of Tempest Bay and every surrounding property is being overtaken by Ganjor. You stand aside, sitting in your comfortable chair, in your 500 gold pieces a month
Filling your wallet.
bounty to avoid and to ignore what's going on.
At this point, he, like, reaches under his desk and appears to be, like, opening a safe. And he just starts piling sacks of gold on the desk. And he keeps
Holy
going
crap.
and keeps going. And it's just this huge mound on his desk. And he kind of tosses it your way and says, go ahead, count it. 13 times 500. There's a single gold piece less than you can hate me. You think I asked for this? You think I wanted to be in this position?
I'm going to show him, like, since it's probably been a minute now, right? And I'm not all horrifying
Yeah.
now. I'm going to allow him to see my true form with the broken neck and the punched in ribs and the broken nose. And I'm going to say, Captain Gilbo, we
Wow.
could really use your help. And if you really want to help your villagers, we're going to need you to help us. I don't know
Make a
how
persuasion
yet.
check. Make a persuasion check with advantage because you appealed to his desire to protect the villagers.
Nice. Very nice.
That's 12. What's the plus? What would it be? Charisma?
Mhm.
That would be, yes, charisma, yep.
Okay, so that is a 14 with advantage. Okay, let's try again. Oh, now it's a 19 plus 2.
Nice.
So that's a 21. We're going to keep that advantage. Thank you.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Nice.
He just kind of like swallows hard and says, look, the only way Ganjor can keep that threat that he made is if he knows what I'm doing. So I have to assume that I'm being spied on. That being the case, what can I do to help you?
I'm not sure just yet, but if we can keep you on reserve, we can find out a way to get you messages. Even if it's me showing up invisible to everybody to whisper something to you from the others. But I can tell you
You're not
we're
gonna
going to
go like all hollowed-eyed and scary every time.
don't
have to do
piss
that?
me off, dildo.
Okay.
Okay, you be honest with us. We'll be good for you. We can both
Swear on my mother's
figure this
grave.
out.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Captain Dildo.
Like I said, we'll have the archivist. We'll have the archivist pour over our archives and generate a report for you. Might take a couple of days, but that's what their job is. We have the keep. We have the guards. Anything I could do to help you, I'm in.
We'll be in touch secretly. Have a
just
nice
hope you're
day.
Sleep well.
Bye, friends.
I just hope
And
you're
I'm
not
gonna
the
go
death of me.
invisible again. I'm just gonna go invisible again.
Don't make me regret this. Sorry,
Don't make us
Kayleesha.
pull her out again. Next time, answer our questions. You won't have to face her. Believe me, you don't want her inside you. I can tell you. You do not want her inside you.
Nerho, you got a little
Yes.
lipstick on your coat.
Oh, sorry. That's from crack.
It was a nice shade.
And that's where we're going to end it tonight.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Well done, everyone.
Thank you.
So, pretty much like 2 lines of my notes ended up being relevant for today. Y'all just went completely in a different direction. No, that's fine. I think it was a lot more interesting than what I had in mind. So, well done, everyone. Next week, are we getting together next week?
I don't think we're going to be.
We are going to be in New Jersey.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. You and half of Red 5.
covered. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll be back in 2 weeks to see what happens next. Until next
Yep.
time, get out of the tavern. We're closing.
Yeah, go home.
Renovation time.
Don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get out.
We're installing floating floor. Get out.